How'd you get that boulder in there? That don't look like limestone. This came tumbling down from yonder. Must have been a torrent. Must have been an inundation. There's more of that Phragmipedium over there. It's everywhere, you know. It likes the light. It doesn't like it shady. Wonder if you get them, I wonder if they're all up in the canopies and stuff. This looks like a boring monocot till you see those showy flowers with the gaping bag. Oh, that's nice. Look at it. Just take that in, right? Take it in. There you go. A little mustache on a staminode. Right. It's a lot better taking that in than taking in the smell, the deep, gasping breath that is the fart in the elevator of modern consumer American society. Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays My Botany Doesn't. Today we're in the upper Amazon. Elevation roughly, I don't know, 4,000 feet. What is it, 1,200 meters? I don't know what it is. 1,300 meters? Maybe we're a little bit lower than that. Either way, you can see it's raining very heavily. Walking in mud. And we're going to see what some of the floristic diversity we can spy consists of. Got a lot of interesting stuff here. Everything's it's basically perpetually wet. The atmosphere never really dries out. Once in a blue moon. So, tons of bryophytes, tons of cool ferns, tons of epiphytes, plants that grow on other plants, a bunch of giant aeroids everywhere. You can see this large monstera. So anyway, we're going to take a look, see what we can find. I'm going to try not to damage any of my equipment. Look at that nice palm up there. Palms everywhere. I kind of hated palms because of so many horticultural atrocities are palms, but I've really I've gained a new appreciation for them here. So here we go. You can see the trees are just absolutely covered in epiphytes. That branch actually looks dead. Aeroids, orchids, tillandsias, members of the blueberry family Orchids. Just columns of aeroids everywhere. And then right over here we got what seems to be a massive, either rigidiporous, it's some sort of polypore, massive shelf fungus. Ooh, we're on bedrock now. You can see where the river carved away the soil and actually hit the rock. But here we got an epiphytic blueberry, one of the members of Ericaceae. Unfortunately not in flower anymore, it's just got those fruits. Those green swollen ovaries, which, is it a superior ovary? I guess those sepals are wrapped around the whole thing. Stamens have already fallen off. Style might still be persistent, but a lot of interesting ericaceous things here. The neotropical blueberries. Wonderful specimen of Guadua angustifolia. Guadua. Whatever. It's a massive bamboo shoot right there. An 8-foot tall bamboo shoot. A lot of hairs on it. Oh yeah, very unpleasant to touch. Feels like a shark skin. Tons of gesneriads up there. You can see it's a little rock slide. This shale doesn't hold up too well, I imagine, in this wet tropical environment. You can see it just splits open. I wonder if there's any fossils anywhere in there in this exposure. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. You got some cool cliff dwellers up there, some cool cliff dwelling plants. Probably, but it kind of sucks for filming right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm totally wet and uncomfortable, and got a bunch of shit to do, a bunch of shit to work on. But gotta pay attention to the rocks though. Gotta get some nice stuff. Oh, Oxalis ecuadoriensis is here. It's a rare one. You know, this is not really the spot I want to be standing, though, during a period of inundation, you know? A landslide's got to be a pretty shitty way to go. Oh, fuck. There we go. Beetle sex inside an aroid flower. Let's see, now they're getting shy now that I just woke them. Sorry, guys. Protogynous flowers. So the female flowers are at the base. That's what they're hitting now. Oh, there's an earwig in there too. And then those male flowers are at the top. They have not matured yet. Those will open later. It's a method to avoid self-pollination, to ensure outcrossing. A lot of aroids do that. Protogynous, protogynous. Female first, then male. Look at it. See, that's a cool peperomia with those long spikes. See, that's a cool piper with them long spikes, those long inflorescences. Right here we got a extremely hairy fern. Ooh, look at the stems. Or the rachis, rather, excuse me. The whole thing covered in hairs, despite being in a really wet place. And ferns are just like angiosperms. You want to identify them, you got to look for the reproductive structures. I mean, it's like any plant, really. Reproductive structures are much more evolutionarily conserved than leaves. Leaves can be very phenotypically plastic. There's the reproductive structure right there. That's the sporophyll, and that's where the sori are. Those brown lines are where the spores are produced. So if we want to identify this, we got to make sure to get pictures of the undersides of the sporophyll, which is where the haploid spores are produced. A lot of ferns generally have a sporophyll and then sterile leaves too. It's just solar panels, and then this is a solar panel and a reproductive structure. Ooh, we're above the river now. You could get a good view of all the epiphytes on all the trees. Two interesting things here. First is a member of Cleomaceae, which I can tell by that inflorescence right there. Very distinct flower structure. The Cleomaceae members that we get in the United States have that same flower structure as well. Long pedicels. Look at those stamens as well. Black anthers. There's the leaves. Brassicales is the order here, the mustard order. Palmate leaves. Look at the hairs on those things too. Little, is it woody? Yeah, it's a woody shrub. And then over here we got a cool orchid, which is in flower right there, and then there's flower buds forming on the other ones. And the other, you can see it's all the same individual. It's got a rhizomatous habit, but it's an epiphyte. Pseudobulbs as well. No, this is only mildly sketchy. They put this nice bridge here for us. A suspension bridge. Oh, look at that though. Look at it. Nice view of that erythrina. Same genus we get in the United States. This is a tropical one. Adapting to hummingbird pollination. There's that Cerauea actinidiaceae, the kiwi family, with those delicious fruits. Oh, here's some cucurbit, which we know again from the flower structure. You can see there's the ovary right there. There's a bunch of male flowers, and this is the female flower. The female flower I cut open right here from another piece, and another part of the plant. You can see it forms a little chamber, and the stigma is up in there. So probably pollinated by some kind of small fly. Whenever that thing opens, the flies or the beetles crawl up under that stigma. Members of the cucumber family, Cucurbitaceae, always have many more male flowers than female flowers. They're monoecious, so the flowers are unisexual, but they've got both sexes on the same plant. Oh, that's nice. You got a nice view of the erythrina right there. Massive leaves on it. Everything covered in moss. They kind of feel like hell. You know, this is, I'm a little over it. Can't really take good photos in the rain, and it's just pissing down constantly. Other than that, it's a pleasant walk. More interesting Gesneriads. It just looks like a little red hairy bag. A little red hairy bag with those distinct leaf textures. Nice. What do the undersides look like here? Yeah, not much. Anyway, I cut one of those bags open though, and you can clearly see those anthers. Tooth-like anthers. They look like molars, and then the style is down there, that little thing at the bottom. Looks like tonsils at the bottom. But why the bag structure though? What pollinates this? Is that just a hummer, or is there something else that climbs in there, hangs out for a while, and gets it done? I don't know. It's peculiar. Little hairy bag. See, those aren't hairy bags, those are just tubes. That's another Gesneriad right there. It's orange little tubes. So anyway, you could see we came down to the river now. The substrate here is all that shale, and then it's a little bit of limestone over here. It's fossiliferous limestone. There'd be quite a few fossils in there. See the little bivalves and stuff? So apparently this was under the ocean at some point. And right here we got a really interesting genus of Cypripedioid orchid. That means it's in the Cypripedioides subfamily, known for having 2 stamens, not just one. This is Phragmipedium pearcei. You see, it's got a little, looks like it's got one of those little glue-on mustaches. Wonder if that's for duping insects, or obviously it serves some sort of purpose in terms of pollination strategy here. And the pollinia, well, it doesn't have pollen. I think it's just got glutinous, somewhat gelatinous pollen, since that's a trademark of this subfamily, Cypripedioides, the Cypripedium subfamily. You can see those the pollen globules behind that structure. That structure, I believe, is even the staminode. That thing with the mustache on it, you know. And then you get the little bag. So those insects, I believe the insects go in the little bag and then have to climb out the back way, up through there, and then come out the top. But it leads for some really interesting floral morphology here. You know, orchids might have been ruined for you horticulturally because, you know, the collectors go nuts for them and all that. But they got some really interesting pollination biology. I mean, I said, wow, you know, you gotta, there's a family that'll get you into pollination biology. It's certainly the orchids. Sexual deception, all kinds of stuff, you know, secreting pheromones, to dupe insects, that kind of thing, you know, wild stuff. I said, wow. You know, most orchids only have 1 anther. They've only got 1 fertile anther. Not the Cypripedioids, they got 2. And a staminode. It's like that little bag is filling with water. The little pouch. It's filling with water, it's filling right up. Yeah, see, look, you got these wonderful striations. They almost look glacial, but of course that's not what's going on. We're on the equator. I wonder if it's because that's the bedding plane, meaning that this rock, that those were turned 90 degrees, you know? It was originally like that, and then they've been flipped. Maybe it could be that's a bedding plane. Let's see what else we got. Everything's just covered. You don't get, I bet you get limestone in the Andes. What do we got on this boulder? Oh, look at it. He's got his mouth open. Let's see a little mustache. Look, I like that little mustache on the staminode. And the little speckling that pollinates. It's probably some sort of tiny fly. Little bag is cute though. You like the little bag? We also got this weirdo, Ocyptanthes, from the screw pine order, species of Ocyptanthes. You can see it's got that little, see that? Look, it's got the little knob with the X's on it. It's a fruit, a maturing fruit. And that's what the flower looks like in bud. How'd you get that boulder in there? That don't look like limestone. This came tumbling down from yonder. Must have been a torrent. Must have been an inundation. There's more of that Phragmipedium over there. It's everywhere, you know. It likes the light. It doesn't like it shady. Wonder if you get them, I wonder if they're all up in the canopies and stuff. This looks like a boring monocot until you see those showy flowers with the gaping bag. Oh, that's nice. Look at it. Just take that in, right? Take it in. There you go. A little mustache on a staminode. Right. It's a lot better taking that in than taking in the smell, the deep, gasping breath that is the fart in the elevator of modern consumer American society. Yeah, look at that. You got a bunch of bivalves and stuff in our hole. How old is that? Is that what we were talking Cretaceous? We talking earlier or what? Might even be earlier. Could be earlier. You don't know. Either way, it probably made it through the KT extinction. I mean, only because it was buried underground, but still. Alright, since every orchid's a puzzle, let's take a closer look. Here's a dissected flower. This is a little post, so the corolla already came off. But look, that yellow bit is the stigma. That staminode, that sterile stamen, is that green thing with the mustache on it, and then you got one anther on either side. And so that pollinator's got to come up, climb past those anthers and that stigma. We got a massive senna, very unique leaves. Those are the leaflets right there. There's the flowers. Only one kind of anther, it seems. You know, a lot of sennas will produce 2 or 3 different kinds of anthers. Some that just produce sterile feeder pollen for bees, since most don't offer any nectar. And then the bottom 2 will be fertile pollen. This is just offering, I think it's just all the same. Who knows what pollinates it though? You can see those green legumes. That's the ovary developing. See, there's a big bean. See the bean? See the bean pod? See it? Big bastard right there. You know, really got pissed on today. You know, I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It'd be a lot nicer if it was not pissing as hard. You know, I don't mind being pissed on, just not this hard. You know what I mean? You're living alive today. You got to get used to being pissed on. Look at that. What a beautiful orchid. Phragmipedium. All right, let's go. Look at this poor guy. He's just trying to wait out the rain. He don't want to get those feathers wet. I don't blame him. Those wings. Jesus Christ. You tell I need to... I'm done. It's been a long day. There we go. Heliconia amygdaliana. With those bright pink bracts for the bird pollinators. And then those green flowers, those little tubes with the anthers poking out the top. Let's see the 2 little flaps at the top of that green flower. The stalk is yellow too. Conspicuous as hell. For I'm not sure if it's hummingbirds or other birds as well. A lot of hummingbird diversity down here. But it could be other birds as well. They'd certainly have a place to perch on those big ass pink bracts. And then there's the leaves. Looking like banana leaves, because they're in the same order as bananas, Zingiberales. You see it's everywhere. What a great fucking species. Look at that thing. Holy hell. Okay, right here we got a parasite in the family Loranthaceae. This is the genus Ocyptanthes. Family again is Loranthaceae, tropical mistletoe family. You can see how those petals recurve. Uniceria perianth, and there's the spot where it connects to the host. You can see that swelling. That's the hostorial connection, como se dice nice. It's a hemiparasite. So it can do a little bit of photosynthesis on its own, but it's also going to steal from whatever the berry, the fruit originally germinated on, which apparently was this tree that just fell down. Again, Loranthaceae, tropical mistletoe family. Obviously going for Hummer pollination. Oh, that's 2. The sepals are at the base. You can see the sepals at the base of the flower right there. Oh, Bobby found a nice butterfly. It's a clearwing. And it's hidden one of the few members of Asteraceae that we've encountered on this wet, miserable 4-hour hike. Look at it, just that proboscis just hitting each one of those little individual flowers. He's very tolerant of us. And again, he just might be too wet. Might be too wet to go anywhere. Yeah, a bunch of seeds germinating here. Looks to be a legume. Looks like a bean. You can see it split 4 ways right there. Root comes out one end, and then the cotyledons come out the other. Wonder if it's an inga. I can't even tell. I can't even tell if it's from this tree. Oh, there we go. There's a fruit. Yeah, it seems to be an inga. Look at this weirdo. It's another member of the banana and ginger orders in Gibberelles. There's the flower. I think Marantaceae is the family here. You can see those flowers coming out. Those white things are staminodes. Some of them, they're sterile stamens. There's only one stamen in there. You can see the ants are kind of liking it. Whole inflorescence is almost done. But look at this vernation. Vernation is the way that a new leaf emerges as the cells divide from the apical meristem. Look at how this comes out, looking like a little vase. And by the time it's done, it'll look like that. Some of these monocots, man, they're so weird. I mean, if you're not used to them, they kind of blow your mind. This is blowing my mind right now. That this comes out from this unrolled little sheath. And as the leaf develops, it'll turn into this giant solar panel. Pretty beautiful. And right here, we got a massive hanging blueberry in the genus Distorigma. Family's Ericaceae. The flowers are gone. There's those fruits, look like they're bird or bat dispersed. There's a calyx with a developing ovary in it, that green thing up top, and there's those fuzzy alternate leaves. The whole thing's covered in multiple different species of lichen and tillandsia. And a couple tillandsias right there. There's the Christmas lichen. Just a whole wealth of epiphytes growing on it. Fortunately, no flowers that I can see. Well, this gives us a really nice chance to see just how decked out in epiphytes everything is. You got that massive, where'd it go? Oh, right there. That orchid is just about to open. And pink indicates maybe it's Hummer pollinated. We got another orchid right there with those tiny flowers. Tons of ferns, mosses. Here's another orchid right here. Just incredible species richness. Oh, this is an orchid too. Is this the same thing? I can't even tell. Oh, look at that. That's a nice one. If it's a maxillaria or what. A lot of nice stuff just on this log alone. This is a carnivorous plant. That's a species of Utricularia. The flower's just starting to open. Right here we got another orchid. Almost translucent flower. Cool labellum shape on that one. And then over here we got a sporulating fern. Looks like, I'm not sure if it's one of those Elaphoglossum peltatum or what, but it's right there. You can see those black spores just readily dehiscing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a better view of those sporophylls and all the black spores on them. And then we got this guy. I don't know if this is the same thing. I don't think it is. This is a Elaphoglossum peltatum. You can see this guy's got leaves that look like a ginkgo, and the whole branch is covered in moss as well. What the shit is this? Is this a peperomia or an aroid? Wild. And then we got this guy up here too, which I didn't even see. Look at that recurved. I suppose that's the labellum. Or is it the dorsal sepal? I can't tell. And yet more orchid diversity. Here's a maxillaria. I'm so curious what the pollinator is for a lot of these. There's the Pollinia up there on that column. You can see it's got a little pseudobulb and it's spreading rhizomatously. And right there is a member of the genus Piptacoma, which is Asteraceae. Those are little Asteraceae flowers. You can see it's pissing again. Here's the flowers on that Piptacoma right here. It's a pioneer species down here. You can see those little forked styles of Asteraceae, the sunflower family. No ligules, just discoid florets. Bright white underside to those leaves. Guess they use this for wood. I was reading about it earlier. Because it grows so fast, it's a good source of packaging material and boxes, etc. This is cool. We got an epiphytic carnivorous plant, Utricularia asplundii, one of 2 species of Utricularia here. That's the flower right there. You can see it's got a nectar spur as well. It's got those 2 little yellow striations on the flower, 2 nectar guides. But the bladder traps, the carnivorous part, is down there embedded beneath all this moss, where it's presumably eating little nematodes, other stuff that might be probably little arthropods that are crawling around in there. So apparently there's, you know, enough for them to supplement, compensate for the low nitrogen. But pretty cool. It's an epiphytic carnivorous plant. It's just that wet here. It's that wet that a species or a genus that's normally aquatic can just become an epiphyte here. Because that genus is normally aquatic. The ones I've seen all the ones I've seen in the United States are aquatic. Right? They grow with those bladder traps in the water. But here it's just so wet they can just grow epiphytically. Meet the only North American genus in the kiwi family, Actinidiaceae. This is Serratia. And I believe this is Serratia tambensis. There's the fruits. The flowers are done. Flowers have 5 white petals. But again, the flowers have fallen off. These got pollinated already. Delicious fruits. Probably my favorite fruit that I've encountered here yet. Those fruits are almost mature. Those little hairs coming off of them, that's the female sex organ on the flower. The styles. And right there, see, it's got this really mucilaginous texture. Right there is the fruit. It's delicious. You can see the tiny seeds. You can see how it's in a kiwi family. You can see all those tiny seeds in there and very mucilaginous fruit. Totally delicious though. So this is a cocoon that's mimicking a snakehead.
Yeah, it's a viper head basically, so you can see kind of triangular. It's a specific species that has small eyes, and the detail goes all the way down to kind of this mouth and what look like labial scales on it, as well as ventral scales. So it's pretty accurate, actually.
So that's mimicking a what? Bothrocophilus?
It's mimicking the snake we just saw, the Bothrocophilus, exactly. Small-eyed, toad-headed pit viper.
But it's a cocoon. Is it a moth or a butterfly?
It's a, I'm not sure. I think it's a moth.